Matt Gaetz has this show Firebrand that he does instead of being a congressman, because he's a second-generation politician's kid in Florida and he's got a lot of time on his hands. But he's gloating about the Supreme Court thing and the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So he's trying to burnish his pro-life bona fides, talking about this stuff. Again, maybe he takes calls. I don't know what the headphones are about. But
Jane's Revenge flyers, because we had members of our team actually on the ground.
So he sent somebody out. We had actually people on the ground, 600 yards from my office. I love how this dude's like, dude, I have Philip Ittner coming on my show from fucking Ukraine, Lviv, Kiev, and Odessa. I'm the only streamer that I know of at this level that has a correspondent in Ukraine currently. Philip's his own man and we love him. But I'm going to claim that. Come on. Meanwhile, this dickhead's like, we had people on the ground. Like, the ground, you mean the same ground where your car is parked? It's across the street, asshole. So anyways, they sent people over and they got footage and made a compilation of people who were there.
Of the Supreme Court.
The
decision was made.
And I understood there was like some college chicks there, and
we got all kind of reaction. And so we are going to bring you to the steps of the Supreme Court right here in Washington as the decision's being made. This report from Chris Cella. Take a listen.
This is Chris Cella reporting for Firebrand. We are here at the U.S. Supreme Court, where a decision is expected to be handed down on whether Roe v. Wade is going to be overturned.
Yes, we know. But I love when people play newsman. Also, well, there's so much to be said, not the least of which the two pairs of glasses. They both look like sunglasses. I hope they're not, but it looks like he left the house going, have you seen my glasses? I'll just wear these. Also, he's got one AirPod in.
We are going to talk with some of the people on both sides.
Notice he does not have any insignia on his mic cube. They took it off so that people would talk to him.
Of the movement. We're going to talk to some pro-choice people, talk to some pro-life people, and see what they have to say, see what's got them so riled up.
It's all about control.
What's got them so riled up?
Of women. It's not really about the fetuses or the babies, because they don't care. They're not pro-life. It's okay if cops kill black men. They don't care. They're not pro-life.
Why do you think it is so important for Roe to be protected?
80% of Americans do not want Roe to be overturned, and so if this happens, it shows that this court is illegitimate and against what the people of this country want. It's something that affects millions of women and trans men across this country. Anyone with a uterus, it affects.
It's not just about female reproductive rights, but also male reproductive rights if a man gets pregnant as well.
It's about anyone with the uterus. Anyone with the uterus.
And by the way, he's trying to bait her into, she thinks trans men are real. Like, that's part of this argument. He's just like, never pass up an opportunity. Like, notice how he didn't bait anybody else with a question, but since she went there, he wanted to clarify that so they could cut that later.
What will women, do? What do you think the reaction will be if Roe is overturned?
If Roe's overturned, we are going to have millions of people in the streets across this country. 80% of Americans do not want Roe to be overturned. Did it just get overturned? Did something? Jesus.
Let's read it right now. The Constitution does not confer a right to abortion.
So those are the pro-abortion folks. These are the anti-choice folks. By the way, I would like you to look, if I may, at the crowd here today. Like, who's gathering around? Is this a wall of old white guys? This group, just to make you aware of who supports this issue and who doesn't, and who you can take for granted, and all that stuff. Like, who's there? Who's making this argument? Who's there? Now, granted, they're going to send more women there to make the point that they support it. So it's a self-selecting crowd. By the way, they're all wearing similar shirts, and it reeks of the Christian groups that I always see at amusement parks who come together. Have you seen my brother? He's wearing a Northfield Baptist Seminary shirt. It's just like mine, and he's about yay high. And ma'am, can you write down the description of who he's? No, I can't write. He's wearing a shirt just like mine.
Hello, everyone. This is Joe Valdez, executive producer of Firebrand. We are
Oh, the other guy got swamped. What happened?
outside of the Supreme Court today, where Roe v. Wade has been overturned. Millions of babies
Jesus Christ.
will no longer have to die at the hands of deranged leftists.
Millions of babies will no longer have to die at the hands of deranged leftists. Yeah.
And we are here to get the reaction.
This is a fascist ruling. This is an illegitimate ruling that no one who loves women, who loves girls, should respect. We must be in these streets right now.
Yep, equal mix. There you go.
We must flood these streets.
And then see this girl in front of them. I will aid and abet abortion. That's in reference to the Texas law, more than likely, and some of the others. That anybody who helps somebody get one can be sued or jailed. That she's standing up for that. I will aid and abet it.
Abort the court! Abort the court! Abort the court!
Congress needs to get off their asses and do their job. Women have been fighting for years. It is not our turn. It is Congress's turn to do something about this.
Well, you're young and you're new here. A lot of people have tried, and we have a real slacktivist problem on the side of people who want to fix this.
Shirt says, I am a vagina voter. I am quoting what is
And then she's got tape over her mouth that says second-class citizen.
red on her t-shirt. Her sign says, keep your religion out of my vagina.
And it's also got coat hangers on it.
This is a joke at this point. How is this? It's not even funny, though. It's the worst joke. And of course, it's a Republican telling the joke because they don't know how to laugh. They don't know how to help a good time with everyone else who just wants to help everybody. All we're for is that you have a choice. That's all we want. And they want to take away your choice. How is that fair? And by they, I mean the fascists. I mean the Republicans. I mean the conservatives. All of them. They don't want you to have a choice. They don't want me to have a choice. They don't want transgender people to have a choice. They don't want anyone except for the fascists to have a choice. I came here to D.C. on Thursday of last week, and I've been fighting in the streets ever since. You think I can afford that? No, I can't afford any of it. I'm here because it matters more than my rent. It matters more than my money. It matters more than my being. It matters about half the population is women. And now it's being taken away from them? How is that right?
Some of us who've been involved in reproductive rights for a bit have been trying to warn people.
She does not trust this dude. So this is not a masking in public thing.
About this for well over a year now, and people have kind of ignored us, kind of looked at us like, Chicken Little with the sky is falling, but the sky has just fallen today.
How do you guys feel now that Roe v. Wade has been overturned? What's your first emotion that came?
I'm ecstatic. I can't explain
I am ecstatic.
it. I'm just so overjoyed and so happy that babies get to live.
I'm so overjoyed and happy that babies get to live.
Definitely was kind of in disbelief. I saw it and I was like,
She has been crying about this, by the way.
I think this is a glitch. I was like, there's no way this just got released when I'm standing in front of the Supreme Court. This is so cool. And so I was just really thankful. The first thing that hit me was just overwhelming feeling of gratitude.
So what would you like to say to the justices, the brave justices who rendered
The brave justices. Notice he doesn't temper his language. Anyways, we haven't seen the other questions, and I'm sure they edit some of it out or whatever. But he definitely seems to be, he's showing which side he's on, even though he's hiding it on his microphone.
this decision?
I would say thank you. I know that their lives are at risk, but they also know
Their lives are at risk.
that other lives are at risk because of this decision. So I want to say thank you to them and for their courageous fight in this as well. Because I know it wasn't easy, but I know that they did what was right, and I know that they know that.
We are a voice for the voiceless, which is the preborn, and millions and millions of them have been killed since Roe v. Wade. So we are so excited to see Roe v. Wade overturned and see them be able to be valued because their lives are amazing and valuable and should not be ended by abortion.
This is a great decision, Brian, and I just like to...
Oh, God. Look, I understand that I have to see, like, anti-choice activists blathering. I understand that I have to see foaming at the mouth liberals who are losing their shit because of it, and I understand. But I don't have to actually see the dude from RSBN too, do I? This is just wrong. Look at the overlap. They borrowed footage from RSBN of their own guy getting interviewed.
Read Congressman Gaetz' statement if I can.
Yes, read Congressman Gaetz' statement.
This is from Congressman Gaetz, breaking today. I applaud the courage of the Supreme Court in standing up for our most vulnerable in the face of violent intimidation from leftist agitators and the Democrat Party.
He means Clarence Thomas and rapists and fathers that impregnate their daughters and other girls in the country. Who else? The most vulnerable. He definitely doesn't mean 17-year-old girls in Florida.
Roe and Casey were bad science and bad law, and now they're history. The Supreme Court's decision in Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood versus Casey were a stain on the judiciary. Abortion is not deeply rooted in our nation's history. It is not found in common law. The Constitution...
It's not found in common law. Are assault weapons? It's funny that they didn't mention medical procedures where literally the idea of aborting a child was so much work that it never made. You're saying in the 1700s it never made it on paper?
The Constitution is clear that Americans are entitled to life and should not be deprived without due process of law.
Okay, so tell you what, as soon as you can make every school shooter take around a jury of their peers with them everywhere they go and have a full 3-month trial for every person they intend to kill at work or at school, then you can start telling me about unborn children, fetuses, and clumps of cells in the first 3 weeks of a pregnancy.
Every day, the unborn are denied this due process when their skulls are crushed and are ripped from their mother's womb, limb by limb, until their little hearts stop beating.
Again, like, this is the language that, like, the activists around this always use. The grossest part about this is not that that's the language. It's that Matt Gaetz is full of shit.
That ends today. States are now free to create law that opposes the evil of abortion and enshrines the unborn's right to life. That's from Congressman Matt Gaetz today.
Well, no. It would enshrine the unborn's right to be born, in theory. Once they're alive, you guys are like, fuck them. Done.
Thank you, Brian, for covering this. We'll be around.
What many people call bad science, bad law, is now history. This is a huge win.
That's the end abortion now. Look at that
pro-life
fist.
activists all around the country.
We're back live here in the Longworth House office building in Washington, D.C.
Right. He's a couple hundred feet away from where his guy was. That is, it's legal in Washington, D.C. That's a snippet that they put on their website of the people who were gathered there, and they had their guy there because they knew when the announcement was coming down. Now, it's curious to me that they knew the announcement was coming down and sort of when, in an almost Ginny Thomas tip-off kind of a way. So they were able to hoof it over there when it surprised some other folks.